okay. It's okay. Let it happen.
Bitcoin had a huge crash down yesterday. If we look at the chart here and measure the drop from kind of not even top to bottom here, but just bottom of the top to bottom here, it was a 5.8% drop off in the span of 9 hours on the price of Bitcoin. That's never a bullish sign. In today's video, I'm going to tell you what I'm expecting from the markets, and if you're interested in what's happening in crypto right now, well, we've got news and everything in today's video. News, analysis, altcoins, everything you can name, it's here. So slap a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, turn on those channel notifications, and let's crack on with the first part of today's video, which is some Bitcoin analysis. And I'm expecting Bitcoin to make it up here to around $62,000 in the not too distant future. And at $62,000, I'm going to enter a tentative short position. The reason why I'm going to enter a tentative short position and not like a I'm going all in kind of short position is because Bitcoin can quite easily break back up to the next level of resistance here. If we actually just zoom out on the chart a little bit, go to the hourly chart and see what we're looking at, it's quite realistic that Bitcoin can go all the way up to about $63,000 to $64,000 at the top of this range here before making any kind of significant decline back down. Bitcoin ultimately is probably at the start or somewhere near the start of a bull market. So being that we're somewhere near the start of a bull market, it makes sense to not be shorting too heavily. Shorting a bull market is never a good idea, but the bull could be delayed because of what is going on in the Middle East, and it's important that you're paying attention to that right now. In terms of Bitcoin, on the 1 minute chart, you can see Stonksi's been nailing some trades today. It's actually been doing a pretty good job today as far as things go. And Ethereum, to be honest, has been going a lot better than what it was yesterday. However, yesterday Ethereum took again another big hit to the downside. These are some pretty significant hits on the price of Ethereum. How is Ethereum looking in its price range right now? Well, if we load up the VWAP and we load up the VRVP, we're able to see where the volume ranges sit. We can see there's a big level of liquidity down here at $2,350. We can also see there's another big range of liquidity up here at $2,640. And currently, we're at a range of liquidity. I don't expect to break significantly out of this range in the short term. It doesn't seem particularly likely that we're going to break out of this range in the short term. If we look at how Bitcoin has actually been Ethereum's been performing with regards to the VWAP, Ethereum isn't at the top of the VWAP yet. The top of the VWAP is sitting somewhere around $2,500. And for me, I'm looking more so for shorts right now than I am for longs, which is a strange thing for me to be saying. Maybe you want to counter trade me, maybe you just a complete permabull like I normally am and you just want to always bet the price is going up. But I think it's important to point out that in every bull market you do have 30% drops. They happen time and time again. If we look here at the price of Bitcoin and we go over to the previous bull market and we go to perhaps the daily chart here, we zoom out. We need to remove some of these indicators because otherwise it'll take forever to load all the time. But if we zoom out here on the daily chart and we go back to the last bull market, we do have in bull markets always big drops in price. You can see there's a drop here in price. That is a 20% drop in price. You can see right at the very start of the bull market there is a tremendous drop in price. That's from 10,000 down to like 6,000 again or something like that. It's a 19% drop in price. There's another significant drop in price here. If we measure from down there to there, a 30% drop in price. There's another percent drop in price here of around 25%. Another one there, another one there. There are significant drops in bull markets, and you've got to position yourself ready for when those drops come. The question is, does this look like we're headed for another drop, or does this look like we came down, we retested, we didn't quite retest that? And that's my concern currently, is we did not retest the outside of this level yesterday. We could have dropped all the way down to about $56,000, but we didn't come down and retest it. So for me, that says there's probably still a small amount of downside left in the price of Bitcoin, and what it'll probably end up doing is tempting people into long positions a little bit too early and then smash them down again. I am a permabull. I always expect the price of Bitcoin should continually rise regardless of market conditions, but that just sometimes isn't the case. And at the end of the day, I'm not in a position right now. I'm hoping to be in a position pretty soon. And to be honest, I think there is a position for me opening up right now. So let's open up a short position live here on stream. And by the time the video comes out, you'll know if I made a profit or not. Let's bosh. Well, it's only a tiny short. I'm going to do a bigger thing with my own separate trading account from this. We've now opened a tiny short on the price of Bitcoin, and we're going to see how that progresses throughout the course of today's stream. Hopefully, I get liquidated. Hopefully, the price of Bitcoin continues to rise. But generally, in fact, I'm going to add a little bit more to this, and we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the price does just continue to go up. Either way, we're going to check in right now on the current levels of liquidation on the price of Bitcoin. And if we go on this, there are some more reasons why I'm expecting the price of Bitcoin to decline. You can see here, currently, the price of Bitcoin is starting to attack these levels of liquidation on the short positions, where there's hundreds of millions of dollars of short positions getting liquidated right now. And in this range here, there is still a lot more short positions that can get liquidated. There isn't a lot of liquidations happening up here at around $63,000, meaning that the likelihood of getting to $63,000 seems a little bit less. There are, however, quite a lot of short positions, long positions that get liquidated down here when the price of Bitcoin touches $60,000. So from that perspective, that could be, unfortunately, a little bit of a magnet for the price of Bitcoin. When it comes to the current spot flows to kind of measure is Bitcoin going onto exchanges or coming off exchanges, another reason why I'm slightly tentatively bearish right now is because there is a lot of Bitcoin, as you can see, being deposited on exchanges again. Now, yesterday, we saw a lot of Bitcoin being deposited at the back end of the day, or rather withdrawn from the exchanges. When you see a lot of Bitcoin being withdrawn from the exchanges, it's important to, I've just pressed on a button there and I shouldn't have pressed on a button, but when you see a lot of Bitcoin being withdrawn from exchanges, you do want to be very cautious in terms of going short, and when you see it being withdrawn, you want to be more bullish because it's being withdrawn. Yesterday on Coinbase, the 24-hour change was 1,100 Bitcoin were withdrawn from Coinbase, whereas 5,000 Bitcoin were deposited on Binance. That's probably showing you the difference between what retail is doing versus what institutions are doing. Institutions are buying. Retail is selling. However, when we talk about institutions buying, on the ETFs yesterday, there was a lot more selling. And the only ETF that actually bought the dip yesterday was BlackRock. And that tells you something about the market. BlackRock isn't expecting this dip to last a particularly long time. Everyone else is getting scared out of the positions. There was 3,800 Bitcoin sold out of the Bitcoin ETFs yesterday. Ethereum is shocking. Grayscale sold 10,000 Ethereum yesterday, and there was 18,000 18,000 Ethereum worth of selling pressure in the Ethereum ETF yesterday, which is tremendous. Only two exchanges bought. One was VanEck and the other one was 21 shares. Apart from those two, no other there was no net flow coming from either of the other two. And BlackRock had a net neutral yesterday on Ethereum. So that's pretty interesting. Either way, the Bitcoin long and short ratio right now, over the course of the past hour, during the course of filming today's video, is people are going long. There's around $400 million worth of long positions over the amount of short positions that have been opened in the past hour. In the past 4 hours, there's been around $1 billion more long positions than what there has been short positions. In the past 12 hours, there's been around $500 million worth of long positions more than short positions. However, in the past 24 hours, there has still been more short positions open than long positions to the tune of around $1.5 billion. So there is still definitely short momentum in this market right now, and I'm pretty interested to see what happens. Don't forget, of course, if you are interested in trading, check out the link for PHEMEX. You'll find it linked at the top of today's video description. PHEMEX is a fantastic exchange, and you'll be able to use it if you click on the link in today's video description. You can use a Palau ID. If you go to rns.id, then you can get yourself a Palau ID, and that way you can sign up and use PHEMEX from anywhere on the globe. However, going back to it, I'm currently in this short position. My short position is now opened from the current price here of $62,184. It's currently in a marginal loss, but that's fine. We're going to see how this progresses. Again, it's nothing of any significant size. But before we continue with anything else, we need to check in on today's cryptocurrency news because there is so much news to discuss. The first thing would be that Telegram has been disclosing user IPs since 2018. So currently Durov got sent to prison because he wasn't sharing information with the governments. He says he's been sharing this information for a lot longer than what he previously has ever said. The next thing would be that FTX creditors to receive only 10 to 25% of their crypto back. Well, this is something that I've known about for a long time. If you had money in FTX, expect to receive around a quarter of it back in the next 6 months because those payments start next week. Again, there's no bullish catalyst until those payments start. There isn't a major bullish catalyst for Bitcoin other than an interest rate drop. And currently, when it comes to an interest rate drop, if we look on this section here, not even that section here, it must be this page here. There is currently a 63% chance of a 0.25% rate drop and a 36% chance of a 0.5% rate drop at the next FOMC meeting. So we still expect there is going to be a rate drop, but the problem is that meeting is not for 35 days. So there just isn't that many bullish catalysts in the market right now. Other things to point out would be stablecoins are being used heavily in Africa, with them making up 43% of transaction volume throughout sub-Saharan Africa, which is amazing. The Middle East tensions have sparked a crypto market sell-off. Bitcoin has fallen, and there's been large ETF outflows. I'd recommend you go to a crypto saving expert. It's the best place to be getting your cryptocurrency news. Bitcoin's performance in October during the US election years tends to be weak again. I know we're all expecting Uptober. I personally still expect Uptober. I just know for a fact there's just too much turbulence in the world. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense for people to deploy capital right before several major events happen. It makes sense afterwards, but before you're taking a risk, afterwards you know the outcome before you place the trade, essentially. And then finally in today's crypto news, which again is really interesting because it shows European kind of acceptance of cryptocurrency, Robinhood is rolling out crypto transfers for European users. Previously, if you bought crypto on Robinhood, you could not withdraw it. It was a closed platform like PayPal. However, with changing economic environment and increasing willingness from the EU governments to accept crypto into their ecosystems, it's starting to get better. We are on the cusp of a major bull run, but it's just important to stay grounded and stay realistic about what is currently happening to the crypto market. So the question is, are we in a profit right now on this trade? Yes, we are in a profit right now on this trade. It's nothing crazy. It's only $52, but it doesn't matter. We're going to be trading with some big money in today's live stream, which I hope you join me for. So if you're not already familiar, I do have another channel. It's called That Martini Guy. If you type in That Martini Guy on YouTube at the time of watching this video, you'll be able to join me live on stream, where I'll be live on stream making these trades. But I've also got a bigger account, and we're going to be making some big trades on that big account. So join me on the stream for this evening. I said that we we're going to talk about altcoins in today's video, so let's do a brief analysis of some of these altcoins. Let's get rid of Stonksy first of all and look at what's happening with Near Protocol. Near Protocol is down from $5.6 to $4.8, and if you're asking me, look, I think it's cheap. I think that so many altcoins are too cheap right now, but that doesn't mean that they can't go lower. If we zoom out on this chart right here, it makes sense, being that we've not actually come down and got any kind of bullish retest off of any of these levels of support, that we get some kind of bullish retest. It always seems to happen. Bearing in mind how volatile a year this is going to be towards the back end of it, it's not a stable year. We can expect that come January, look, things are definitely going to be bullish by then, but at the same time, that's when you've got certainty. Right now, there is no certainty, and a retest of this $4 level on Near Protocol does seem somewhat realistic. There are other coins that I could point out to you right now. One that I think is incredibly cheap, and it's just shocking, to be honest, how bad this coin has done. This is Matic. Matic has rebranded to Pol, and Pol is currently sitting at 38 cents. It's incredible how bad layer 2s are doing at the moment. I don't understand why they're doing quite as bad as what they are. It doesn't make any sense to me. Another coin that's doing horrendous at the moment is this. You can see my analysis from previous times. It went wrong. That cup and handle did not play out, and instead we continued just being terrible on DOP. I continually accumulate DOP. At some point the sell pressure will end, and it'll be one of them coins, just like it did here where it pumped several 100% in a day. It will do that again at some point in the future when that demand kicks in, when the foundation really wants to push. Right now, everybody's holding back just a little bit. They don't want to deploy all of their capital into the market, so it's important that you toe that same line as well. Don't be fully deployed right now. Hold a little bit of something back. A rainy day might be coming. It's important to stay realistic, but also optimistic. Don't let yourself turn into a depressive person that is always sad and always saying, oh, it always goes down. Look, it goes down sometimes and it goes up sometimes, and the idea is that you trade the swings on it, and that's what Stonksy, which you can get if you use the link in today's video description, it's £145 a month, but it'll stop you making any bad decisions in your trading. You can also see from my analysis here, so far so good. We're getting rejected at this level of resistance, and in theory, we're probably gonna, and this is why I want to stream, because I think I'm right here. I'm pretty confident I'm right here. I think we're gonna do something like this. And so it'd be interesting if we do, because that again is another significant drop off. It'd liquidate a lot more people, a 2% drop, but if you're trading with $1 million, 2% is $20,000 profit. Happy days. And that's what we'll be doing on the stream, so you need to join me on that today. You know, in terms of other altcoins right now, Vanry had a very steep drop off, and this is something that we're seeing throughout all of the altcoin space. Altcoins did not I know some people may say altcoins held up well yesterday. Altcoins did not hold up well. So many altcoins dropped 10, 15, 20% yesterday. Vanry dropped 23% from its more recent highs, and just yesterday it dropped 15%. What is Chainlink doing right now? Chainlink is down 30% in the past 4 days. That's incredible. And we're seeing these drops throughout the... Yes, you should be greedy when others are fearful, but you've also got to be realistic and say, look, this has already dropped most of the way to here. It's probably going to drop just the remaining distance to here, to around $10. And then it'll probably go back to the upside again. But when you spot a trend, it's important to recognize that trend and trade that trend as you're seeing that trend. So checking back in on this, yep, we're still in $56 of a profit, which is fine. It's okay. But we're going to enter some big short positions on stream. So join me over there. Slap a like on this video if you have enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. And make sure that you join me in future live streams. Have a fantastic day. Slap a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.